We have to find shelter B. There's shelter A. We gotta find shelter B. It's somewhere. Shelter B for booty. Cute. Look at them seed pods. You could hit somebody with this.
I'm seeing bite you. Mine, I wear frozen.
Frozen Niagara.
They're so soft and they're very these are fairly.
Stagecoach would pick you up, and then later, as the automobiles came into play, you would still kind of veer into Mammoth Cave using this road. Now, Mammoth Cave became a national park July 1st of 1941, but it's been a tourist attraction since 1816. That was the first time somebody actually paid for a cave tour, was in 1816. So people have long since known about the Mammoth Cave. So people coming out here, they would travel from far and wide, even over in Europe in the late 1800s. If they heard that you had come down to the United States, if you did not go see Niagara Falls or Mammoth Cave, they didn't want to talk to you. You just simply had nothing of interest for them to see. So people are coming out here, they were exploring this area, and as others started kind of living in this area, noticed how much attraction Mammoth Cave was getting, they started really paying attention to the fact that there are truly caves everywhere here. I mean, truly anywhere you look, there's a sinkhole, there's a big hill, there's probably a cave underneath it somewhere. So over time, coming into the 1900s, people start looking around and saying, well, I've got a cave in my backyard. I bet people will come pay to see it too. So they would start marketing for you to come see their cave. And it was really good if they had a cave just off of this road. They would put up a billboard. They would name it Great Onyx Cave, Crystal Cave, Crystal Onyx Cave, Diamond Caverns. You had all of these different little caves start popping up everywhere, and all these little signs start popping up on this road telling you, turn here, don't keep driving. So eventually in the 1910s, a gentleman by the name of George Morrison comes to Kentucky. He's from Ohio, and up in Ohio, he's an engineer. He's got a very well-wired engineer-type brain. He's very, very intelligent. And he hears of this small oil boom going on in Kentucky. So he comes here, and he starts trying to make it big with oil. He actually ends up drilling about 16 times and comes up dry every single time. They ended up giving him the nickname Dry Hole George. He was not making it, was not doing good. But while he was down here, one of his buddies up in Ohio said, hey, while you're down there, you might as well go check out Mammoth Cave. And he said, all right. So George comes down the Mammoth Cave. He shows up. They offer him a couple different options for tours, and he opts to go on the longer one. So as he goes into Mammoth Cave, he starts noticing that he's been walking for a long time. Back then, you would go about 9 hours into the cave, turn around, and come 9 back out. But as they're walking, and as he's traveling, and as he's crawling, and going on boats, and going across rivers, he keeps thinking, ain't no way we're still underneath the Mammoth Cave property line. We've traveled way too far to still be underneath this property. So he comes back out, and he starts asking questions. People don't like outsiders that start asking questions. He thinks, all right, I'll just figure it out for myself. So he wants to go back inside the cave, this time with a compass. And in doing so, he gets stopped. And he's told by a Mammoth Cave guide, sir, you can't take that in the cave with you. He says, why not? He says, I don't know what to tell you. I just know that they're not allowed. This has pretty much solidified George's hunch that Mammoth Cave has been trespassing on tours. You see, in Kentucky, what you own above ground, you own to the core of the earth. So if Mammoth Cave has in fact been going underneath people's properties, they have been trespassing and making money off of it. Now, George eventually finds somebody that's willing to talk to him. After being run out of the state, he comes back a couple years later with a briefcase full of money that he's talked enough investors into giving him. With promise of cave and cave tourism, enough people have invested their money and their time into George's harebrained idea. But he comes back, and when he comes back, he starts asking around again, and this woman gives him a lead. There's a sinkhole that her kids like playing in the summer because cool air comes out of the rocks. Folks, he shoves about 20 sticks of dynamite in that sinkhole, and all of a sudden, there's cave. Now, being the brave man that he was, he sees a very steep drop down there, and he knows he's going to have to explore it. So he goes up to the hardware store, buys many, many feet of rope, comes back to that sinkhole, ties a rope around a tree, and ties the other end of the rope to his nephew Earl, and says, go find me some cave. Now, Earl's just gotten back from World War I. He's kind of ready for some adventure. He's pretty excited by this opportunity. So he starts going down and exploring, and as they're exploring, they end up finding some pretty interesting things. But over the course of the next 2 years, from 1921 to 1923, they end up finding the section of cave that we are taking a tour in today. George Morrison used some more dynamite to make the entrance that we get to use. So if you were wondering if you were going to see a big, grand, beautiful entrance into the Mammoth Cave today, folks, you get a steel door in the middle of the woods.
Oh, that's what that is. All right.
All right.
Yay! Okay, good. We gotta wait. Spooky.
Now, he went kind of straight to the bottom of this hill and then worked his way out the side. So this entrance was put in 2 years after he initially first discovered this section of cave. Now, when George comes into this section of cave, he's looking around. I want you to kind of think to yourself, if you had just discovered a cave, if this is the first time that anybody has ever stepped foot in this section of cave, you're looking at virgin cave dirt. There is no footsteps in front of you, and you are the only one leaving footsteps behind. What would you want to find? What would be something that would just absolutely make you ecstatic? What would be something that you would want to market to show other people?
Dinosaurs.
Well, George ends up finding something that he really wanted to find, and I don't really know if Earl would have wanted to find it. Personally, if it was my cave, I'd been pretty mad. If I think that I have done all this work, gone through all this trouble of getting run out of town, coming back to town, finding a new section of cave, seeing how massive and beautiful it is, the last thing that I want to know is that someone had already been there. But while they're down there looking around, George ends up finding a name. And that name is Bob Lively. Now, I don't know if Earl really knew who that was, but George did. George had actually bribed Bob Lively. Bob Lively was a Mammoth Cave guy. A Mammoth Cave guy who gave George Morrison a key. His own key to Mammoth Cave to sneak in after hours and make his own map. George was real happy to see this name because George has just found a brand new section of Mammoth Cave. So as quickly as he can, George makes a big billboard and puts it right on the side of Cave City Road. Turn here. Come see the new entrance to Mammoth Cave. People started turning there, and it made Mammoth Cave really mad. But at a certain point, when George and Earl find this section of cave that we're walking into, people wanted to come see this. And you're going to know why when you get down there and see it yourself. This is going to be the crown jewel of George Morrison's discoveries inside of Mammoth Cave. Mammoth Cave is not known for formations. We just don't have that many. Mammoth Cave is mostly a dry cave. Without water, you don't have formations. This is a very special section of the cave that we actually do have those formations actively.
You missed the first part. She said that the sinkhole was somewhere up there in the mountain.
So once again, I would like to remind you, do not touch the cave.
Okay.
If you have to stabilize yourself in certain areas, that's okay. But for the most part, do not touch the cave. The oils on our skin stain, damage, collage, and can even stunt growth of formations inside the cave. So please make sure you're being respectful. Watch your head, watch your step. Are you all ready to go see George Morrison's cave?
Yeah. Let's go. Do not touch the walls. This is cold already.
Yeah.
Spinning door. Help me. He's gonna kill me. Here we go. Down we go.
You're gonna have to hold on.
Here we go. It's super wet. Wetty daddy. Okay, here's the. Ooh, that railing is cold. I really want to touch the walls. It's dripping. It's dripping on me. There's water running down the sides. Put in an epic song that goes in with this that might be copyrighted. Look at those big old crickets. I don't know why, but my balance is not being good. My geometrical stuff is not working correctly. And it's shivering and cold down here. Stalactite. Stalactite on the cricket? I mean, cricket on the stalactite? These are formations. Cool formations. Don't touch. Cool formations right here. Whoa, look at these big old pillars. Me want to touch. Uh-oh. Wow, look at that. It's like an ear. Look up there. Hey, Mama, I think this is the sinkhole. They got this little pool stuff right here. And little beef jerky looking things hanging down. Look at all that. It's raining. Move.
Sing right here.
Whoa.
Look at me.
No. Oh.
Look inside the little teensy walkway.
Scared. Oh, I gotta fit through here. Wow. Wow. These are cool looking. Hey, there's a little cave right there. This is the first time I've ever had to squat in my life. Look at this. Someone's touching my waterfall. Big old water. Yeah, let's go down here. Somebody put a container. Oh yeah, there are spiders. Oh. Scared. Looks like we're going down there. There's just a little chute up there. Look at that. That's cool. It's foggy. Cool looking. It's cool looking the caves. Uh-oh, the cave door. Oh. Look at that. Turn that crap up. There's names on the walls. Somebody put names on their walls.
Mom, freaking babies. No, there's still people behind there too.
What's that big entrance sign up on Cave City Road? Do you want to turn it? Do you want to come see this? Mammoth, they get real mad. Oh, they get mad. They've already been a tourist destination for over 100 years at this point. They've got their reputation built. They've got all these incredible things on the surface. They've got a very famous hotel that you can come stay in. They've got the stagecoach. They've got the train. They've got all these really cool things that you get to see and enjoy. And now all of a sudden none of that matters because there's this new guy up the road. Well, I want you to imagine for a second what would happen. How would you feel? What would you think? If in 1922 you paid good money to go on a long tour at Mammoth Cave, you show up at the hotel, they offer you a cave costume, they feed you a good hearty breakfast, they show you the lanterns that you're going to be carrying inside the cave, they spend some time fueling them, They talk to you about some of the stuff that you're about to go do. You start asking some questions. They say, don't ask questions yet. That's not going to be fun for either of us. You go down inside the historic entrance of Mammoth Cave. You walk for hours upon hours upon hours. About 9 hours into the cave, your guide stops and says, all right, we're going to eat lunch right now. So somebody steps forward, they've got some fried chicken, some brandy, some vegetables, fried okra. You sit down, you have a meal. And while you do, you don't want your lantern to run out, so you turn it down a little bit. It's a very low light environment at this point. And all of a sudden, a new light comes down the distance. Someone you've never seen before comes around the corner. And your guide stands up and turns around and looks at him and says, excuse me, who are you? Who do you think you are? You can't be here. Who are you? And they say it doesn't matter who I am. What matters is who I work for. Ladies and gentlemen of the Mammoth Cave State Tour, I know you paid money to come on this tour today, and I also know you're probably already bored. You've been here for 9 hours, you're going to have to turn around, go 9 hours back out the same exact way, see all the same stuff you've already seen. Here's this guy, keep blabbering your ear off. I know you're sick of him too, but I tell you what, no extra cost to you. All you have to do for me is sign a piece of paper when we leave the cave today. Would you like to follow me? I'll take you to a section of this cave that nobody that's come in the historic entrance has ever ventured to before. I'll take you somewhere where there's stalactites as big as 10 men standing on top of each other's shoulders. I'll take you somewhere where there's rock that looks like it's frozen in time, as big as and impressive as the Niagara Falls itself.
Oh, that's what I call granite.
No extra cost to you. All you gotta do is sign that piece of paper. Folks, would you like to follow me today? Yep. Pretty compelling argument.
Yes, sir.
Those people would follow him. So what they would do is leave their guy behind, go explain to his boss why he lost his tour group, and they would follow this man another 5 hours.
Yay.
They would continue walking, they would climb up some mountains, they would walk forward until they walked out of this passageway right next to us towards the frozen Niagara. They would come out of that entrance, and they would sign a piece of paper, an affidavit, that said, we went into the historic entrance of Mammoth Cave, but exited through George Morrison's entrance. Ladies and gentlemen, Mammoth Cave was actively trying to sue George. You can't use our name, it's not your cave. This affidavit proved that it was. It was the same cave, and it was the same name. He won that lawsuit. Mammoth Cave said, fine, but you have to put a disclaimer that you're not showing anything found prior to 1905. And he said, okay, I can do that. So in tiny letters, shows nothing found prior to 1905. But if you were going on a tour inside of the historic entrance, you probably already heard about some of the famous landmarks you're going to see. George Morrison started naming things on this side of the cave the same thing, or just a little different. So you probably heard of Fat Man's Misery.
Fat Man's Misery.
George Morrison had Fat Man's Squeeze. You might have heard of Lover's Leap in Gothic Avenue. George Morrison had a more impressive Lover's Leap. You have definitely heard of the famous Echo River boat tour inside of Mammoth Cave. This one was a little tricky. There's no real impressive body of water on this side of the cave. But Earl found a small puddle. He lowered himself on some more rope down into that puddle, dropped down into it, and saw a crack coming out of the rock wall. George once again took his favorite caving tool, dynamite, put a little stick in there, blew through that wall, and all of a sudden you got a lot of water coming through. He dammed up one area of it so that he would have just a very specific section of water flowing. You would go down there. You would climb down 3 very sketchy ladders, board the boat, and then if you got in the boat, your guide would turn your light down. Very low-lit boat tour. You're passing a bunch of stalactites. Oh, wow, that's really impressive. Oh, over here, we got some more. Oh my gosh, there's more over here. No, it's the same one you just passed. He's taking you in a figure 8 for about an hour. And you're none the wiser. That was the Crystal Lake. You might have noticed we actually walked over it on our way here. If you didn't notice it, pay attention on your way back. You can look down. That water's only about 8 to 10 feet deep, too. Not as impressive as George would want you to believe, but you gave him that money nonetheless. Now, for just a second, I want to talk about what is truly impressive about Mammoth Cave, and that's the rock. Now, this is a limestone cave. All the rock you see around you right now is limestone. Limestone is made out of the ancient marine life that once inhabited in the ancient sea over this area of Kentucky. As that marine life was dying and settling to the bottom of that ocean, the calcium bits in it were kind of turning into gray sludgy matter, and over time, all of that water was pressurizing that stuff on top of itself until it solidified into this rock. Now, we know that happened because we find marine fossils in this rock everywhere. Horn corals, gastropods, brachiopods, ammonite, and my favorite fossil, shark teeth, everywhere. It is truly incredible how many different kinds of shark teeth that no one has ever even seen before is found inside of this cave. Now, being that this is a calcium rock, it's very similar to our bones and to our teeth. Now, the water that formed Mammoth Cave is not just regular rainwater. It's actually rainwater mixed with carbon dioxide, which then in turn creates acid. So rainwater is falling through the atmosphere, picking up carbon dioxide bubbles, putting it inside of itself until it becomes carbonic acid.
Cool. On
one side of Mammoth Cave is I-65, also known as the sinkhole plain. On the other side of Mammoth Cave is the Green River. Water flows through the sinkhole plain in a goal to get to the Green River. Now, my niece really likes this song about going on a bear hunt. And as they go on a bear hunt, they come to all these obstacles. And you can't go over it, and you can't go under it. You gotta go through it. And the water did the exact same thing. It was making its way through those sinkholes, finding little cracks and crevices in the rock, pushing its way inside of it, and that acid was helping it dissolve the rock away. Everything we're walking in was water forcing its way to get to where it wanted to go.
Oh.
The Green River Cave carved its way further into the valley over time. The water in the cave chased to keep up with it. That's why there's no water standing in this room. The river is about 400 feet underground, level with the river outside. So the whole time that we're underground, at any point inside of the cave, we are always higher than the Green River outside, which is pretty wild to think about. But the water carved its way through, settled lower, and kept going lower and kept going lower. But Mammoth Cave is very special in how it is the world's longest known cave system. Mammoth Cave is mostly dry, like I said earlier. What I wanted to do by taking us here is to show you what most of Mammoth Cave looks like. Dry. There's no water coming down right here. There's no formations right here. Most of Mammoth Cave looks like this. Because on top of all this limestone rock is sandstone. That sandstone is this cave's best friend. It will do anything to protect this rock. It's our main line of defense against that water above us. When water touches that sandstone kicks it right off. It doesn't like it, it doesn't want it, it pushes it away. And then we're going to go back out and make one more stop on our way out of the cave and see something else as well.
Looks like a pipe organ.
On this one especially, I do what I'm supposed to as slow as a normal. Yeah. Because I realized, okay, you know, he had a point. He had a plan. He wanted to get in as soon as possible. So in the meantime, as long as we're not taking too much time, he took the video. More or less, you know, we had basically the opposite of this area. We had flat.
I didn't know that that was the Niagara Falls. I didn't know it at first, but that's supposed to be the Niagara Falls. The Frozen in Time Niagara Falls. That's why they call this the Niagara Tour. We should. Here's Crystal Lake.
Here, come stand right here. Jack, come stand right here.
So this is the lake again.
Where's Dale?
It's on my page. Here we go, little pools again. This looks like a volcano erupting. Got the waves in
The cave. Does that sound good?
there. Yeah, let's see all the cave. Wow.
Cover up
Darkness.
any external lights that you might have on you.
Wow.
Check your phones, check your flashlights, make sure they're all off.
So calm.
When you were to first come inside of this cave, George, they had a lot different lights than we did. Mostly would have given off about this much light.
That's not a lot.
Now, don't be like a moth. Don't look right at the flame. Look around you. I can see all of you. I can see all of you. Now, I do want to point out one kind of funny thing that I find really funny about movies. Any Indiana Jones fans here? Yeah. When Indiana Jones is right in front of his face, you know why he's holding it there? Because you paid to see Harrison Ford. Ranger Stewart, can you help me with something? I left my flashlight on the bus like a bad ranger would. But I want to show these folks the friends that we've had with us all along the way that they never saw.
Where are
They'll
the
just
bugs?
stay right here.
Buggy. Bug.
In Mammoth Cave, we've got about 160 different types of species that call this cave home. These are not spiders. These
Crickets.
are cave crickets. And these cave crickets are one of the keystone species inside of Mammoth Cave. And you all walked
Here right away?
The whole time I was in here.
I never saw it.
a whole bunch under there too. But next to us the entire time, there's been thousands upon thousands of these friends.
I haven't seen them.
Now they're really important to us. They actually go outside to eat and then bring the nutrients back inside the cave. They eat like decaying leaf matter, plant litter, dying animals, that kind of thing. And they help feed a whole bunch of animals inside of the cave with this black rock. All of this black stuff is cricket poop.
That you've been walking on.
Yeah. They also lay eggs that cave beetles eat, and those cave beetles find their nutrients there. Then when they die, there's other types of crawlies inside of them.
When do you think the first people ever came in here? Like the
5,000 years ago.
5,000?
5,000.
How do we know that?
The oldest thing we found inside of the cave is a sunflower head,
Oh,
and it was carbonated to be 5,000 years old.
oh, cool.
They left tools, other plants,
Yeah.
moccasins, bowls, like gourd bowls.
Yeah.
And then in 1935, a Native American was still found inside of the cave. Because of the cave's climate, temperature, and the fact that most of this cave is dry, it naturally preserves everything left inside of it. So this individual's body had been naturally mummified by the elements, and his mummy is still inside of the cave.
Where?
Really?
So don't want to know where.
Yeah.
But I know he's not the only one either.
Yeah, I bet.
So, but yeah, but 5,000 years of human history
Oh, cool.
inside of this cave. Yep.
I want to see it.
Anybody else?
Can I be mummified?
I don't want to get away from these spiders. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm already being mummified. How old do you think I am?
I don't know.
About 65 years old.
Oh, there's one right there. It's in pretty well.
Well, she said they go out. Hopefully you're all right.
It smells like fish in here. Ugh. All right. That was fun. Oh, I gotta turn my brightness off. Yeah. Cool looking desert grass. Oh, it's a petrified plant. That's cool.